This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, the Converge FiberXers are reportedly placing a once promising guard, Alec Stockton, on the trading block amid declining numbers in the last few games. Thailand women's guard Supavadee Kunchuan condemns online bullying after their loss to the Gilas Pilipinas Women in the recent 33rd Southeast Asian Games. Venus Williams ties the knot with actor Andrea Pretty in an intimate Palm Beach wedding, which the tennis legend confirmed on social media. And Jake Paul may have fallen to former heavyweight champ Anthony Joshua in Miami, but the YouTuber's camp says the loss only strengthened his resolve and future in boxing. An assessment we'll try to dissect with respected veteran analyst attorney Tolentino live. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 24th of December. Now, here's our roundup. Reports say once promising guard Alec Stockton is now on the trading block as his recent numbers raise questions about his future with the Converge FiberXers. After a strong start, Converge dropped 2 of its last 3 games, slipping to a 7-4 record and settling for the number 4 seed, setting up a tough quarterfinal clash with Barangay Ginebra. In those 3 losses, Stockton struggled as he averaged 7.3 points, shooting 30% from the field and 18% from three-point range. Reports indicate Magnolia and San Miguel have shown interest, with the hotshots seeking backcourt help amid injuries and an aging guard rotation. Ginebra could also emerge as a suitor as Coach Tim Cohn and management get a closer look at Stockton in their Christmas Day playoff showdown. FIBA has moved the FIBA World Cup qualifiers match between China and Chinese Taipei to a neutral venue. Originally scheduled in Taipei, the March 1 game will now be played at the SM Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay City. Tip-off is set for 4 p.m., serving as the opener to the Gilas Pilipinas versus Australia match at 7:30 p.m. The venue shift comes amid ongoing political sensitivities between China and Taiwan, prompting FIBA to designate a neutral site. Now, FIBA has yet to release a formal statement, but the move ensures the match proceeds as scheduled, with Manila now hosting a key World Cup qualifier doubleheader. Thailand women's national team guard Supavadee Kunchuan has spoken out against bullying and hateful messages directed at the Thai team on social media following its loss to the Gilas Pilipinas Women in the Southeast Asian Games. Kunchuan and several teammates became targets of online attacks and fake news posts fueled by highly emotional reactions from fans. Some supporters wrongly blamed the players for Thailand's changes in eligibility rules across men's and women's tournaments. Kunchuan clarified that players have no control over eligibility policies, stressing that their role is simply to play on the court. She also urged fans to stop those hateful behavior, warning it reflects poorly on one's country. Kunchuan's message has since gained regional attention, sparking renewed discussions on sportsmanship and fan conduct in international competition. Uncertainty is surrounding the future of Filipino boxing prospect Carl James Martin, 2 months after his last fight. Known as Ifugao's Wonder Boy, the 26-year-old junior featherweight is currently without a promotional contract after his deal with M3 Promotions expired last November, technically making him a free agent. Despite that, Martin says he has no plans to look elsewhere. Martin has an unblemished record of 27-0, spiked with 20 knockouts. Ranked among the WBO's top contenders at 122 pounds, Martin says the lack of a clear fight schedule is concerning as he pushes toward a world title shot. He is now considering adjustments to his training team while awaiting a firm plan. Martin last fought in October, earning a unanimous decision win against former world title challenger Aran Dipaen of Thailand at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. The proud Ifugaonon remains hopeful talks with Gibbons will soon bring clarity regarding his next fight. Tennis icon Venus Williams has married actor Andrea Pretty following a weekend-long wedding celebration in Palm Beach, Florida. Williams confirmed the marriage Tuesday through social media with photos showing an outdoor ceremony attended by close friends and family. The 45-year-old seven-time Grand Slam champion previously revealed that the couple privately exchanged vows in Italy earlier this year. Williams continues her return to competition and is set to begin her 33rd season on the WTA Tour, with her comeback extending into 2026. Venus Williams marks a new chapter off the court as she continues her career and prepares for another season on tour. Memphis put on an offensive show in Utah as the Grizzlies pulled away from the Jazz 137-128. Santi Aldama was unstoppable, matching a career high with 37 points, including 7 three-pointers as Memphis shot nearly 56% from the floor. Utah made a push in the third, but Memphis answered every run to snap the Jazz's 4-game skid. In Phoenix, the Suns took full advantage of a short-handed Lakers squad, rolling to a 132-108 win. Devin Booker had 21 points and 11 assists, while Dillon Brooks led all scorers with 24 as Phoenix broke the game open with a massive third quarter. Without Luka Doncic, Los Angeles struggled with ball control, committing 17 turnovers that led to easy Suns points. And in Minnesota, Anthony Edwards set the tone as the Timberwolves downed the Knicks 115-104. Edwards finished with 38 points while Julius Randle took over late, scoring 17 in the fourth to seal it. Former Wolves player Karl Anthony Towns scored 40 for New York, but it wasn't enough as the Knicks played without Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby. Meanwhile, in other games around the league, Dallas pulled off a big win over Denver, 126-121, as Cooper Flagg exploded for 33, with Anthony Davis adding 31. San Antonio dominated Oklahoma City 130-110 behind 25 points off the bench from Keldon Johnson. Brooklyn held off Philadelphia 114-106 with Michael Porter Jr. scoring 28, while Joel Embiid finished with 27 in the loss. Orlando edged Portland 110-106 as Desmond Bane led the way with 23 points. Chicago survived Atlanta 126-123 after Kobe White knocked down the game winner and ended with 24. Cleveland rolled past New Orleans 141-118 with Donovan Mitchell pacing the Cavaliers with 27. Milwaukee snapped Indiana 111-94 behind 24 points from Kevin Porter Jr. Charlotte took care of Washington 126-109 as LaMelo Ball posted 23 points and 9 assists. The Clippers cruised past Houston 128-101, powered by a season-high 41 from Kawhi Leonard. Detroit outgunned Sacramento 136-127 with Cade Cunningham stuffing the stat sheet 23 points and 14 assists. And Toronto slaughtered Miami 112-91, led by 27 points from Scotty Barnes. That's a full slate across the league: statement wins, clutch moments, and big nights from the game stars. YouTuber Jake Paul fell short against former heavyweight champ Anthony Joshua in Miami, but his camp says the loss only fuels his boxing future. A claim we'll break down live with sports analyst attorney Ed Tolentino when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. YouTuber boxer Jake Paul vows to bounce back after his loss to former heavyweight kingpin Anthony Joshua, promising a return against fighters his own size and a future run at the cruiserweight crown. Let's get to know if boxing analyst attorney Ed Tolentino is buying into that plan. Partner, good evening.
Good evening, partner, and good evening to all the followers of your program.
Attorney, initial thoughts dito sa Netflix mega fight sa pagitan ni Jake Paul at syempre Anthony Joshua.
Well, Jake Paul has finally been unmasked, Anton, ano? Yung poetic justice was delivered by way of that crushing right hand of Anthony Joshua that knocked out itong si Jake Paul in 6 rounds. Yung double broken jaw which Jake Paul sustained it now stands as a grim reminder that you do not play boxing. You can get seriously hurt. And that is what Jake Paul has been doing since he turned pro. He has been mocking boxing. He has been disrespecting the boxers, the system. And so finally, he has been unmasked by Anthony Joshua. Joshua did us a favor by finally exposing Jake Paul for the fighter or the non-fighter that he is.
Wow, attorney, based on that answer, it seems like you are not a Jake Paul fan and you're not a fan of what he is doing. But then looking at it from a different perspective, isn't this good for boxing na he's bringing a lot of new eyeballs into the sport?
Well, in terms of the attraction, yes. I mean, his fights are constantly box office hits. But the bottom line here is that he is giving boxing a different impression as far as the fans are concerned. This is not the way you're supposed to promote boxing, by picking on your opponents, by fighting a former heavyweight champion who had been on ice for 2 decades. You know, this is not the way. This is not the way to promote boxing. He's sending the wrong signals. He's changing the rules. He's shortening the rounds. I mean, he's making a mockery of the sport. And the way I see it, this is not the way you should promote boxing. This is not the proper way. And he's taking away the attention from the legitimate boxers who have been really working hard. So while I commend his charisma, the new fans he's bringing in, he's putting actually boxing in a bad light. This is not the way boxing is meant to be promoted. This is not the way boxing is supposed to gain new fans.
Partner, Yumir Marshall was here on the show a couple of weeks back before the SEA Games, and he also shared the same sentiments na hindi siya gaano masaya sa ginagawa ni Jake Paul, na he echoed what you just said, that you don't play boxing. But Jake Paul is saying, he's saying that this is just gonna motivate him even more to continue boxing. At ang next goal niya is to fight at his division naman, sa cruiserweight.
Well, you know, not only is his jaw broken, but his act is wearing thin also. I don't think people will be that interested to see after the Joshua fight. And do take note, there are experts who are saying that having suffered a double broken jaw, his jaw broken in 2 places, he may never be fit to fight again. Of course, he says, I'm going to fight again. Yes, he might get away with it if the match is scripted. Of course, don't hit me on the jaw because my jaw got broken, you know. But again, like I said, there are some repercussions here. British promoter Eddie Hearn said that he doesn't see Jake Paul fighting again, at least not in a real fight, because of that broken jaw he sustained. So the way I see it, the act is wearing thin, and it is really my hope that boxing can move on past the Jake Paul show. It was a carnival show at the very least.
So where does boxing go from here? Because I also read somewhere na with this type of injury, mga 9 na buwan hindi makakapag-boxing itong si Jake Paul. And then Terence Crawford recently retired. Are you shocked by that sudden decision by Crawford to retire just after beating Canelo Alvarez?
Yes, I was surprised. He was at the peak of his career, Terence Crawford. But, you know, he got fed up with the politics of boxing. He got stripped of the title by the WBC for non-payment of sanctioning fee. He questioned that. He got fed up with the politics of boxing. And at age 38, having saved so much, I think Crawford chose to leave based on his own terms. But you know, boxing, Anton, a boxer retires, before you know it, he's back knocking on your door again. Retirement is the most abused word in professional boxing. So it ain't over until it's over as far as this retirement issue is concerned. You know, but that's the way it is. You know, that's the way it is. Now, going back to Jake Paul, he is going to be silent for the next few months. The real boxers must really step up. They have to step up. Naoya Inoue is fighting this weekend. They have to appear frequently in the ring. You know, Jake Paul thrived because the likes of Terence Crawford would only fight once a year. They gave him this vacuum wherein he was able to cash in, enter the picture, Jake Paul, the likes of Jake Paul. So I think the boxers, the real champions, must step up. You must give the fight that the fans really want. Because that's why they're tuning into the likes of Jake Paul. Because even the champions, the legit boxers, are taking on what? Trial horses. They want to see the real pairings, the dream matches. The boxers, the real boxers must deliver, so people will forget the episode that was Jake Paul.
I like what you said earlier, attorney, na in boxing, retirement is the most abused word. Yun nga, if a boxer who has been on ice for over 2 decades can come back, then
Yes.
we should really not be surprised with anything. And Crawford, you know, still at the peak of his powers, can definitely come back, and we wouldn't be surprised by that.
Absolutely. I mean, Manny Pacquiao came back after 4 years. He did the Lazarus Act in boxing. I mean, imagine 4 years of inactivity. You know, they just keep coming back because the money is so good in boxing right now. It's overflowing with money, and they want a piece of that lucrative pie. Unfortunately, they're also risking their health. And that's really the problem with boxing right now. But, you know, there's so much money. Everybody's tempted to come back.
Attorney, one last thing. After the Jake Paul-AJ fight, AJ called out a guy who was also retired. Tyson Fury, he's retired several times. So tingin mo ba mangyayari na itong bakbakan na to, AJ against Tyson Fury?
Yes, mangyayari ito. They're planning it already for next year. Tyson Fury, we never believed his retirement vow earlier. Nobody really believed that. He's coming back. He's going to take a tune-up fight next year. AJ is also going to take a tune-up fight because there is no way you can prepare for Tyson Fury by feasting on Jake Paul. He has to take on a real opponent. It will happen next year. They're already planning it. The biggest fight as far as British boxing history is concerned, because these are 2 British fighters, 2 legit stars of British boxing. So it's going to happen. Tyson Fury is coming back. And, you know, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a very good fight. And definitely a boost for British boxing.
Attorney Ed, as a final question on this Christmas Eve episode on the scorecard, as we move into 2026, sino yung boksingero na tingin mo ang magiging biggest star in the sport, or the fighter that we should follow and look out for in the year 2026?
Well, on the international level, I think David Benavidez gained a lot of steam this year. Naoya Inoue is planning to move up to another weight class, so that is worth following. And Alexander Usyk remains the top heavyweight, so he's going to be closely watched next year. And he's also planning the last 2 years to be his last in boxing. He's also mulling retirement, but next year should be a good one for the heavyweights, for the likes of David Benavidez. As far as Philippine boxing concerned, believe it or not, it's rather a gloomy atmosphere right now when you have Manny Pacquiao coming back after 4 years. When you have Manny Pacquiao still carrying the flag for Philippine boxing, it means we cannot move on. We cannot move on. And he's a very tough act to follow. But I see Manny Pacquiao fighting again next year. Hopefully, he's targeting really Rolly Romero for the WBA welterweight championship. They're trying to find ways to make that fight happen. So the Mayweather-Pacquiao rematch, I think it's still a long way down the road.
Wow, still a long way down the road.
Yes.
But hopefully, I mean, I would still watch that fight if ever it does happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes 2 of us. That makes 2 of us, Anton.
Advance Merry Christmas, partner. And enjoy your Christmas Eve, and thank you again, as always. Always great to talk boxing with you.
Happy holidays, partner. You keep punching.
Will do, partner. Attorney Ed Tolentino with us here on The Scorecard. Up next, Christmas Day playoff basketball. Top seed San Miguel holds a twice-to-beat edge, but NLEX has already shown that they can shock the champs. 1 game to set the tone, a season on the line, and we will break down that matchup when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. Christmas Day, and the PBA has rewarded us with intense playoff basketball. This matchup is awesome. On Thursday, the PBA Season 50 Philippine Cup quarterfinals serve up a classic. San Miguel Beermen versus the NLEX Road Warriors. San Miguel enters as the top seed, armed with a twice-to-beat advantage. Now, NLEX, they need to win twice to move on. Now, they've already seen each other this Philippine Cup, and NLEX knows exactly what it takes to beat San Miguel. Earlier in the conference, the Road Warriors pulled off a stunning 85-84 come-from-behind win, and they did it without Berto Bolic. Playing with heavy hearts as Bolic flew to the United States to mourn the loss of his father, NLEX rallied from a double-digit deficit behind a full-team effort. Jonel Policarpio and Brandon Ramirez led the way with 16 points each. Kevin Alas chipped in 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. JB Bajío added a double-double, 12 points and 12 boards. NLEX held its ground late, surviving San Miguel's final push led by Don Trollano. Now, for San Miguel, Junmar Fajardo, the Kraken, still delivered 18 points and 15 rebounds, but it wasn't enough. It was a game that proved one thing: NLEX is not afraid of the defending champions. This time, the spotlight shifts back to the stars. CJ Perez and Robert Bolic. Wow, I covered this game. A rivalry that goes all the way back to, yes, the NCAA. Before it was San Beda versus LPU, Bolic versus Perez. A matchup defined by tough shots, big moments, and even bigger emotions. Now, Bolic walked away in the collegiate ranks with 3 championships, while Perez claimed an MVP title. Now, they are still duking it out in the PBA. Perez is San Miguel's igniter: straight line attacks, fearless drives, and the ability to swing momentum in seconds. Bolic, NLEX's closer, a shot maker who lives for late clocks and big possessions. No distractions, no what-ifs, just 2 proven scores with the ball and a season on the line. For San Miguel, the formula is simple. Just play through Junmar, control the paint, win the glass. With a twice-to-beat edge, the Beermen, they can stay patient, slow the game down, trust their depth, and force NLEX to execute for 48 straight minutes. Now, for NLEX, they must push the tempo before San Miguel sets its defense. Limit second chance points and get big shots from Bolic and company, because against a top seed with a safety net, every empty possession hurts double. Now, San Miguel, they have the advantage. NLEX has the belief and proof that it can be done. On Christmas Day, it's a quarterfinal with everything on the line, and only one team moves a step closer to the title. And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow on the Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This is Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening with your family and loved ones tonight on Christmas Eve. Happy holidays.